I am presenting as a part of Mike Winkle's ongoing speech. It's been a really big undertaking, and I'm really excited that this marks the end of that project. He can finally complete his project and also this level and pathways and move on to his next big ordeal. But my part in this project is to really talk about the President's Distinguished Award. When we're in our regular club room, we have our Toastmasters banner that we hang on the window, and we have all of these blue ribbons that mark us as President's Distinguished. And I don't think, at least for me, that anyone's ever really taken the time to talk about what it is those ribbons represent, what it is they mean. I'm sure we can all infer that it means that we're some sort of a distinguished club, but how is it that we earn that distinguished status? How is it that we get those ribbons? And really, what is the value of having that distinguishment as a group? So really, the point that I wanted to stress is that Toastmasters is about so much more than just coming and practicing your public speaking. Of course, it's important, it's a highlight, but we also want to focus on structuring learning, on helping people to achieve personal and professional goals. And yes, public speaking is a part of that, but so is working towards a role of leadership, learning how to be a leader in the midst of a group. So how we're going to do this today is we're going to go through the 4 criteria that we get points in order to achieve this award. Those criteria are education, membership, training, and administration. We're going to talk about the value of each of those things. We're going to talk about how we get points through each of those categories. And overall, I hope that you get a sense of why this President's Distinguished Honor is so important for the betterment of our whole group. So to get things started, the first component of this award is education. Some of our newer members are just getting started in Pathways or haven't really started in Pathways yet, so I'm sure you'll all see that soon. But those of you that have a pathway know that in Pathways, you can choose a different path that is more specific to what your personal goals are. And then along that path, you achieve what are called levels. So as you complete speeches in your pathway, you achieve a level and then move up to another level. Well, what a lot of us don't realize is that as we complete those levels, we actually earn points for the entirety of the group. And that's how we get those education points towards this component of our President's Distinguished Award. So the goals of a President's Distinguished Club in terms of education are that we have 8 members in total, so 4 members each completing levels 1 and 2, 4 members in total, so 2 each completing levels 3 and 4, and then 1 member completing level 5. The beauty of all this is that no matter where you are in your pathway, no matter how long you've been a Toastmaster, as you complete your speeches, as you work towards your end goals and pathways, you are contributing to the whole of the group. The second piece is membership. And the goal of a President's Distinguished Club with membership is to recruit and add 8 new members to the group over the course of each year. And a lot of you are sitting in this room that have been a part of the group for a while are thinking, oh my gosh, this is something we easily do. That's bizarre that it would be such an easy goal for us to achieve. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that we are indomitable. We are a really engaging and engaged group. Nee actually sent me an email earlier this week with the membership base, the numbers of people in every club in our area, and we have the strongest membership base in our region. And I just think we don't realize how special that is. We don't realize how great it is to have Dave Hansen putting updates about our group out to the world and encouraging people from really international places, but all over, to come in and take part in what we do here. Other clubs have to host events. They have to host open houses. They have to really actively recruit in order to get the membership levels that we have. And I think the point that I wanted to make there is each of us is really valuable, and I don't think any of us do, but I think it's really important to note that none of us should take one another for granted. It's a really special thing we have here with membership. The third component is training, and this is really specific to Toastmaster officers. Toastmasters at a higher level, you guys might have to correct me on the lingo, but I think they have levels that are district, area, kind of different sizes of places, but they offer 2 training sessions over the course of the year. And the goal of a President's Distinguished Club is to send 4 of their 7 officers to each respective training session. And the reason this is so important is, these trainings are for updates regarding Toastmasters International, new tools that you can use in Pathways, best practices on how to run an effective club, all sorts of different things. It's a really broad spectrum. And the great thing about sending that many officers, that really heavy base of your officers, to those trainings twice a year is that they then bring that information back for the benefit of the club. So if there is a new tool that could benefit somebody or that could help somebody towards their personal goals, the officers are acting as the leaders they were elected to be, or that they chose to be in the group, to make sure that that's a possibility and that's something they can bring back and a resource they can provide for the club. I do also want to mention that club officer, the turnover is coming up pretty soon here, right around end of May, early June. So just a hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If anybody is interested in being an officer, it's a great resume item. It's a great leadership opportunity. And I would really encourage anyone that might be interested to reach out. Know that you've got a full support system in this group of people to help you to get through that if that's something you're interested in doing. And then 4th and finally, administration. And this is really a goal to prove that we are organized, that we are committed, and that we have elected and assigned leadership that are going to keep us on track for the whole of the year. So the goal of administration is to make sure that we're paying our dues on time and submitting those on time, and also submitting officers and officer roles when that turnover does take place. Really, it's important that we're as organized as we are, because if we are organized, if we are efficient, if we're all committed, then first of all, the whole of the club is succeeding, but we're also acting as a more effective resource for each of us individually to achieve our personal goals. So to wrap things up, education, membership, training, and administration. These are the 4 components of the President's Distinguished Award, and we do such an incredible job with each of these, but it's important to note how important they are, because they do give us points towards achieving this goal each year. I do want to point out, it's worth mentioning, that we are 9 points away from achieving this award, which means that if anybody has deviated from Pathways, I know myself included, over the past few weeks with all of this COVID-19, I really encourage you guys to please go back to Pathways in the next several weeks before June 30th, give a Pathway speech or 2, track your progress, and help us to try and reach that goal. And we've been a club that has achieved the President's Distinguished Award for quite a few years, and I'd really like not to see that end anytime soon. I'd be very surprised if that were the case. Me also did send me this really cool thing to show that we are one of 3 clubs in our area that has actually achieved this award, which makes us even more special, and we want to make sure we maintain that distinguishment. I do want to take the time to thank Mike for taking on this project. The whole of the project has been for the betterment and the benefit of the whole group. Mike, I hope that it's been beneficial to you. I hope you feel that we've all done you proud, and that you feel that you've grown as a leader, as an organizer, as a manager. I do want to thank all of the people that also participated in this project. We've seen a lot of different speeches from different individuals to make this happen. And I'm also really grateful to everybody that takes part and participates for the betterment of the whole group. Madam Toastmaster.